Hi. Oh boy, I get to be with my friends from around the world today. This is Palimpsest Live. My name's Ross. I'm in Los Angeles. And around the world, we have really on the other side of the world, there's Cheryl Wilcox, a painter in Australia, Denise Pilker, a painter in suddenly like leaving me in the Montreal area. Rose Williams, a painter and fabric artist in British Columbia. Laura Spedetto, a painter and portraitist in the United Kingdom. Stephanie McLean, a painter in Toronto. Wow, I feel just completely jet lagged just saying all that, you
Very
know?
good.
And um, today we have a
And
really
yourself?
special. I said I'm Ross in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I did
Oh, I'm
say
sorry. Okay.
pay attention now, right? So today we have really a special kind of situation because we've been talking so much about like preparatory work and how we approach our work, and so we thought, oh, let's look at each other's sketchbooks because we have never seen each other's sketchbooks, right? So
Nope.
they really come from someplace different, and on Instagram and these other kind of visual places, you see people showing their sketchbooks, and frankly, they show the most beautiful kinds of things. They're not showing the struggle of making art. They show practically only finished thing, and people will end up with like an entire book of only perfect work. I have no idea how that's done, but every artist I've ever spoken to goes, I don't know how that's done. Do you guys have any idea how that might be done?
I think
I
that
would like to say something. We were required to keep a sketchbook when I was studying expressive arts therapy, and you'd have to share it sometimes. And knowing that other people were going to see it, that is a totally different looking sketchbook for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a special kind of sketchbook
I
then.
think
Well,
You have
so.
it
like
was
one
more
like that, and you have
performative. It
a
was more
performative
performative
sketchbook,
and less subjective, I guess.
or like working it out. Like I've got to figure out how to make this composition or this hand or arm or
Yeah.
nose, or
It was
let
more
me just practice
finished. It
that.
was
Or
it
It
was more
sounds
polished. Absolutely. Yeah, it was
Hmm,
more polished.
So
hmm.
if you had a commission and if you actually kept a sketchbook with the polished concept in mind, then maybe you could sell your work, because we've talked about this before with the sketchbook. So you could
Yeah.
have the
yeah.
development of the art.
I actually have a friend who does that. He comes from the animation field, so he does a lot of like pre-studies, first sketches and then color sketches and
And
light sketches
storyboards.
and stuff and storyboards and
Yes.
stuff for his paintings. And he makes these little booklets that include all of those stages, and comes with the painting when he sells it.
Wow, that's
Wow.
pretty cool.
Beautiful. That is
Yeah,
such a nice thing to have along with the
yeah.
piece of art.
You know what that reminds me
Wow.
of? That reminds me of the Palimpsest project. Because in the Palimpsest project, what we do is we include a passport or some other kind of documentation that talks about where the painting has been and where it goes and what our intentions are, and then we document all the different stages of it, and then we send it to each other, and then
Yeah.
we each do that successively
Yeah,
too. So
no,
you get
that's true.
documentation when you get one of the Palimpsest
Yeah.
project pieces too, right?
A
Yep.
little bit of an
Mm.
elevated sketchbook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But it's a little bit post sketchbook. Like we
Yeah.
document as we're going, and then we kind of take those pieces out and put them in. But do you guys also practice in your practice in a sketchbook? You're like, oh, Stephanie's like,
A
what's
little
that
bit.
mean? Kind of a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. It depends on what I'm working on, right? So I did a bunch of heads, a bunch of heads in this one. Like and then I just, that became my head workbook. It just depends.
Nice.
So do you have
Cool.
it specifically for a subject, like these performative kind of sketchbooks that Rose is talking about? You
No,
have a head one.
no, no, mine are non-performative. Mine are like secret. Mine are just like, I don't even want to divulge. But I guess I will, since that's what we're doing today.
Show our sketchbooks to each other and the world.
I know, yeah.
Oh
Whoa.
boy.
Anyway.
Whoa.
You're putting us on the
Well,
spot here.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we're on the spot anyways. We're like on the
Yeah.
air. What about in your school? Rose mentioned in her. I mean, Rose, you've had a lot of different kinds of schooling. But that was one one place. But in your other schools, you guys, did you have different formats or different like impetus? Like you have to show your sketchbook to the class, and Denise is nodding yes.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it always had the same format for me, though. It's always been one of these, something that I can easily carry around. Easily-ish carry around, because this one's...
Yeah,
I've also
they're all-
had smaller ones, like half this size, that I could put it in my purse. And thinner ones.
You have a purse. Sorry.
Yes.
I had a purse.
Everything's
I saw you
pockets,
didn't have a
right?
purse. Anyway, sorry.
I know. but that's because when I travel, I have a backpack instead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So now
Or
all the
useful.
places that you've been, also, I guess, in a way, your camera is, it's all
Yeah.
part and parcel of your things. I mean, that's probably why
is.
you carry the backpack, and then you also have snacks.
Yeah.
I
Healthy snack.
Snacks are important.
Cheryl, you travel quite a bit, and you've traveled like, I think probably everywhere. And then recently you did this, was it a bike trip you did across your country, across Australia?
Just across a small part of a little shark tooth down in the Great Australian Bight.
Oh, so it's only like 1 million miles instead of 7 million miles. And then, and then you carried a sketchbook with you, because I think you had kind of in one of your social media, you were showing
Wow.
some of your sketches.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
what do you like draw all the time when you're traveling?
I pretty much try to draw all the time. I don't really have like one sketchbook. I have lots of, like my crazy brain, I have lots of sort of different things. So I often have like small postcards that I do a lot of work on. And
Oh,
so I have like a whole sort of a stack of these that I take down to the beach with me. And these are like little postcards, and they started off just as postcards that I bought them in a nice box. So what I do with those is that I actually draw down at the beach wherever I am, and then I just plonk them into this box. So some are better than others. And so when people come to my exhibitions, if they wish, and that was some cheetahs that we went down to pat at the
Oh,
zoo.
nice.
And
To
so
pet
I'll
at the
just,
zoo? Did you just say
yeah, to
pet
pat
cheetahs?
Did you use
them.
the, yeah,
I
did you
know,
guys
to
like,
pat them.
what?
We got to
Cool.
pat them and touch them and
Australia
all
is a
that sort of
different
stuff.
country, indeed.
Yeah. Did they have teeth? Like, I don't know. What? Were they toothless tigers? Because that's the only kind of tiger I
Cheetahs, they're actually really
Oh, like-
quite, they're just like big cats.
Oh, cheetahs.
They were fed before we went in, all right?
Oh, that's good. Because we
Wow.
probably look a lot like chicken to them. So
But anyway, so I just sort of have a whole, I don't know, of things. And then what happens is that I get rid of them. I end up with a whole stack, and I say to people, if you'd like to take one, and all the kookaburras always go first.
oh, they're such like typical, uniquely Australian birds, right?
Yeah.
But it's funny.
Are they?
So I use that as a bit of a and it's surprising how many they just disappear, and I
Oh, yeah.
so then I just build it up again, and then that's so anyway. So that's one thing, but I had a tiny little DVD container. Anyway,
Yes.
I thought I was next. So if I'm gonna maybe we need to swap our order.
Yeah, Laura, when you do go to art school in Italy,
Sorry?
did you go to art school in Italy?
Yeah, in Milan.
And so like this is the center of design and fashion
Yeah.
and technology.
I studied to become illustrator. At, I don't know how to say illustratore pubblicitario would be in Italian in Milan. It was very nice because it was inside the Sforzesco's castle. I don't know if you ever
Ooh.
been in Milan.
Beautiful.
In the center there is this castle, and inside the castle there was the school. Was
Nice.
very
Wow.
Nice.
You went to art school in a castle?
Mm.
Wow.
In the center of Milan. So
In the center of Milan. I
Did
thought.
did
Gosh.
they have you keep a sketchbook for your classes in Milan?
no, No,
No?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago, so but I don't remember we had to keep. In fact, I don't. I have a lot of piece of things where I try to understand what I want to paint, but I don't really have a sketchbook. I don't have something that I carry on with me. I just have a piece of paper, like here, something that where I try if I, for example, like something like this,
Ooh.
like this, and
Too
Yeah.
fast. Slow it
Yeah.
down.
Too fast, Lara.
slow
Let's
down,
slow
yeah.
it down.
because
Like this, like this, like this.
there are
They're
some,
secret.
no, they're not
Oh,
secret.
nice. Is that
Piece-
Ilaria?
No,
Ilaria? No?
nephews.
Oh, your niece? Your nephew or niece?
Niece, yeah,
Niece
niece,
is a girl, yeah.
yeah. And
Beautiful work.
here, for example,
Beautiful.
the other day I was talking to Denise. I was trying to do the skin.
Oh yes.
Gel skin, yeah.
So and or maybe I try to some
Paint pouring?
also using different colors and like here, or I use little canvas
Mm.
Oh.
Those are
Mhm.
nice.
to
Mhm.
check how
Nice.
Do you do
Here,
those in
I-
acrylic or
I using also
Oh.
always my
oils?
tools.
Acrylic? Are those acrylics, Lara?
Oils?
Oil.
Here, yeah, acrylic. Yeah.
Acrylic.
So,
Here,
Lara,
using the pencil.
are you working ideas out on those canvases?
Yeah.
Yes, let's say when I have the idea, I try to find if I'm working, for example, in a photo.
From a reference photo?
For example, this was a project that I started, but I haven't finished, and I wanted to do like only the face, but without the to paint the soul, focusing
Yeah.
on
Oh, nice.
and so I started to do some of them. I have something more than, but this is just an example. And yeah, so I try to see physically how it is. And then I go, for example, I have this is just trying to using the color. So you can see that it's so different because it's just experimenting. So I don't have the sketchbook because probably I forward the step to with the pencil, because when I had the idea, I think yes, this is the idea. So I go forward and I try to see also with the color how does it work.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, sometimes I continue, sometimes I stop there. And let's see. Yeah, I have some more here, but because it depends on what in the
Yikes.
yeah, like these are the series where I try, because you cannot see here the too much, but I like the texture, how to use the texture.
Can you lift that up a bit? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Too late.
yeah. Nice. Okay. Lara,
You missed
can you
it.
also
You
show
missed
us
it.
there's a painting behind you to your right where we see like big sort of light green circles against a light blue background. So look to your right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Can you show it to us? It's just like such a tease.
It is a tease, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really
If
big.
you can, if you're
it's
strong
huge.
enough to.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness,
Oh,
how big
that's
is
Wow.
that?
gorgeous.
Beautiful. Oh
That's
my.
beautiful, Lara.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I started to paint this circle in the same moment that I painted the bubbles.
Oh yeah. I have a thought to do a painting with bubbles too, so I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, it was
I think we already talked about that. Yeah.
period.
The
Right.
bubble period.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bubble period. The bubble phase. Yeah.
So
Great.
that's so
That's
interesting
great.
how I mean, among other things, how the you do something in one area influencing the exploration in another area. And also I think it's interesting that your sketches are like complete paintings.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's my problem because when I get excited, I think, I want to, and then I get frustrated when the painting doesn't come out of how was in my mind. So I put it aside. So I have a lot.
I'm familiar with that feeling.
Yeah, it was.
You're not behaving. Go away.
This one, I love this because
Yeah, it's beautiful.
and I would like to do it bigger, and because I like the
Positive, negative.
small
Yeah.
The
lines.
lost edge.
Yeah.
You just
Makes it more intimate.
The
It's more
composition. Yeah.
intimate. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's true. It's because when I start to work on the painting, I continue until I don't. Yes, so it's difficult sometimes. Then I finish it that I'm not happy and with what I'm doing, and I leave it apart. Apart for this one, this series, I think I will continue because I like it. Probably the subject. I love the subject.
Yeah. Nice.
So Denise,
you, Lara.
when you're out painting, I mean, when you're out with your sketchbook, does that work then? What do you call that? Reference it, speak to it. Does it influence? Does that work then influence the work you're doing in the studio?
I actually
Because
don't
you
keep
use
my
photographs?
sketchbook doesn't function that way.
How does it function?
My sketchbook is purely to capture my ideas like when I have them. So there's a lot of like writing in there. Just it's mostly this. Little scribbles.
I do that too. That's exactly what I do.
Give like a composition idea just to give myself a reference of what I was thinking, and then I jot down some notes. This is an old one. I just started a new one, and it literally only has writing in it right now.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
but
is it a journal kind of thing?
No.
You're journaling, or it's really referencing
no, it's
picture making?
really just
Catching thoughts flashing by quickly.
Yes, catching thoughts. It's usually like a little scribble and a couple of notes that to
idea.
capture an idea, like this, or how I want a series to look, or like it's really very very much only that. But in addition to that, like a lot of my work and a lot of the way my compositions come together is done on the computer. So most of my sketching, my actual sketching out an idea, is happening on the computer, where I just go through my photos, and I'll sort of position them, and while I go through, like different scenes come together by like quickly like taking out buildings and quickly like outlining them and smacking them in there and then moving them around and then replacing them, and then I eventually come up with like the composition itself, which I would then print out as a reference for me to like later I will write down. I will actually circle which areas need to be painted in color, so I have a reference for that, and I'll write down the colors, and then later on I will also write down the title ideas for the piece. So these just stay with the painting while I'm working on it, and I'll jot down notes in it, and sometimes I'll look at little details, how the composition comes together and how some edges need to be painted away. So this is part of my like a large part of my actual sketching process, what you would like call sketching, I guess. It happens on the computer for me.
Right.
So my sketchbook is really just capturing ideas.
And
so
that
are
makes
those-
sense because of your process. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nope,
Makes
I'm
sense because
Yeah.
of your work.
Yeah, you have a very long arc in your process too, don't you?
I do.
Where you're,
Hmm.
you have to travel for years, and then you So,
In some way, I have the same process because I'm not so organized. So I write in different paper and then that get lost because I don't. Maybe I cannot find. But
Yeah.
when I choose a photo, I work on the computer to decide the cut of the to see if, for example, this one probably wasn't like this. I decide to
Drop it.
and then I reproduce on the canvas. So in some
Right.
ways, a kind of similar process.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've always had that sort of ideal idea in my head that of keeping a sketchbook, and I've started so many times with the idea that I would draw daily or paint daily or do little. I've even done like took little ones on vacation. I have like this little tiny watercolor set that I can use for that, and I've done it, but it usually stays with like 5 or 10 pages and then I just stop. So I don't know, this is just more practical for me in the
Yeah, you have to be
daily
quick.
life in my art process.
and
Yeah,
then
you
these
have to
little
be really
roughs and the
quick,
notes
that's
that
it.
you're doing, do they turn into these pictures that you make? These big
Yes.
paintings?
Usually, yes.
Wow. Rose, what were you
But
going to ask?
yeah, because a big part of your process, Denise, is taking the photo, like
Yeah.
encountering the moment and capturing it in the photo. And then I'm just wondering, when you edit your photos, is that a big part of the process that then later when you're putting things together, you're remembering that photo shoot basically?
Yeah, I actually that memory connection really happens in the moment where I am sketching and go, because it involves me going through all my photographs, right? So I get to play around with that, and yeah, it's really sort of a memory, a trip down memory lane every time I do that. I just get to like sort of dive in and like, oh, today I want to spend all my day in San Francisco and just go through all those photos.
Oh,
And then
cool.
how it works is that I look for interesting buildings or people that capture my interest, and then I'll pick one to start with, and then sometimes it stays, sometimes it doesn't. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you have to kill your babies, as they say.
Oh, terrible expression.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I don't think we say that in English, actually.
Oh, it's actually
We
yeah. No,
I think it's a Dutch.
no. It is actually from writers. Like writers will often
Yeah.
say that.
Kill your darlings, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, kill
Yeah.
your darlings, kill your babies.
Yeah. But yeah, lots of writers spend a year or
never do
two and then just take that novel and stick it in a drawer and
Yeah.
start again.
Well, I often
Yeah.
have that with images that I'm like, oh, I love this picture so much. I need to use this building. And then I start creating the composition. It's all coming together. And then by the end, that building that I love so much just doesn't fit anymore and it needs to go. And that's really sad.
It seems like the
Demolish.
emotion of the experience is a big part of your process.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and also I always imagine like my pieces are like little snapshots in time, and I sort of imagine all the lives of the people in my painting. Because when I took the photo, I usually don't really notice them there. They're usually there accidentally. So
Cool.
and then afterwards I'm like, oh, this person, oh, he looks like he's communicating with somebody, but there's nobody in this picture. I need to find somebody who looks in this direction so they can be communicating and they can tell a story.
Yeah.
That's sort of how that works.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Oh, your
Cool.
pieces do have a whole intercommunication kind of thing where there's like a social activity that goes along with like the whole city moving, and yeah. Oh, that's fascinating. That's really magic. That's real magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see
Yeah,
why
it's where most of the creative process lies for me, I think, is that moment where my compositions are created on the computer. is like a
Hmm.
large part of the creative process.
Very cool.
Stephanie, I don't think you're using a computer. I think you're using like your imagination to kind of put things together, like the
Kind of.
flames in the hairs and the,
Yeah.
you've got like this
Oh,
sort of
okay.
neo-Fauvist
So actually, so yes,
approach.
I mean, it comes from my imagination first, and then I try to find reference photos to sort of, I try to find something. Yeah. So it comes from my imagination first. I have my vision, and then I try to find the reference photos to make up that vision, right? So what I did here was, I can't find the reference photo for this. Sorry, I have a grid on there, but this woman, which is basically my, oh, I took her down. I replaced her with something else. But anyway, I have a fire, an element of fire. There she is.
There she
If I
is.
get it,
Yeah.
if I can get out of the way.
Yeah, there she is.
There she is.
Fire. Do, do, do.
All right, anyway. So yeah, so basically it was um, about, I think, 3 different faces that I used to try to come up with her face, and just one of them was really for the lighting, and how the features cast the shadow when light comes from a certain direction. And then of course I took, I got an image of fire, of flames, and I kind of smooshed them together in Photoshop. And my smooshing is very loose. Like I don't try to like really make sure that everything lines up and all that, because I figure, you know what, I can do that when I'm painting. It's not a big deal, right? So that's what I did with my fire sign painting. With my Gemini painting, was it Gemini? No, Pisces. No, Gemini. This was easy. So I took a picture, and I knew it was going to go on a round, on a tondo. So I took I got a reference photo of this woman and basically brought her into Photoshop, copied her, and flipped her horizontally, right, so that they're kind of back to back. So that's easy. So my sketchbook is also my computer sometimes. Now, this is a little weird, but this is my element of earth painting. It's new. I haven't posted it. I haven't shared it with anyone because I'm a little embarrassed because
You
it's
can
pretty
see
out there.
behind you. It's there.
Yeah, it's there. It's not finished. I have to do some stuff on it. But I liked the idea, and for the element of earth, because ladybugs, Rose, you probably know this like the back of your head, but back of your hand. But ladybugs do something in the earth. What is it, Rose? And that was, and I can't remember exactly.
They aerate. They anyways, yeah, they make it more porous, and they keep it from being tamped down, and they put their feces in it, and it's great. It's good stuff.
There we go. So yeah, so for lady, yeah, there we go. So that's how she relates to the element of earth, because she
Plus,
buries
they
her shit.
eat aphids off your veggies, so they're fabulous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. So that's how I did this. This was in the computer. However, I have done, excuse me, pardon me. I thought I had this out.
Plus, they're considered lucky by some cultures.
Yes, they are. They are.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did do this kind of mock-up first. That's my
Nice.
mock-up. And I have this sketchbook where I've done like just other things. Like these are I can't see very well, my rounds. Like just so it's really scribbled. It's nothing that I would share with anyone by any means. Then I had this sketchbook that I started, I think in 2020. Anyway, I got some new paints, so I started experimenting with the colors.
Ooh, pretty.
Oh, and I did a couple of yeah, I did. So these were actually, I guess, paintings.
Are you working on both sides of the paper?
Sometimes. Did I? Let me see. Yeah, this one I did. Yeah, this one I did, because this was just, I didn't want to waste the paper. So this one actually goes this way. It's just
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it.
thanks. And
Oh,
flowers. Yeah, these were done in 2020. A cow.
oh.
But then see, here's I was trying to do a face properly. And then I had some other, find what I did. Oh, yeah, so this is my collection of heads. Trying to draw faces and heads using the Azzaro, like the like what in Cheryl's painting, what she gave. So using kind of the Azzaro head to try to figure out where all the features are, and there we go. And so that's
Very cool.
yeah. So I'm like I don't know. I think it's kind of like Denise, right? Like some scribbles,
It's similar, yeah.
some stuff in the computer, Yeah.
and a lot of
Very good.
imagination.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
Oh, crazies.
And we're gonna have to look at other people's sketchbooks. I'll put mine aside here next time because we have a box to open. Stephanie's
do.
got a box to open? Is
I
that what
do,
you
yeah.
did?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's what we're doing. Okay, let's see if I can
How exciting is
make
this?
sure you can see this.
Brought to you by
Okay.
Master Pack. That's a
Yes,
beautiful
Master
Master
Pack.
Pack Titan box. Is that what they're called? Titan box?
Titan
Titan
Strong
Strong
Box.
Box.
Titan Strong
But
box.
these are amazing, and this is just gorgeous.
Where did
Look
this come from?
at this. Came from Rose, but it came from Cheryl. It came from Cheryl first, and then Rose. And so
Oh.
No,
looks
no,
like
Cheryl,
Rose.
Lara,
No.
and then Rose.
Cheryl, Lara
then
with the
Rose.
bubbles, yes, and then Rose. Sorry, and then I love what you wrote, Rose, about the window, like that there was light coming through here. So this could very well be an open window kind of thing, and since the light's coming through here, we'll assume there's a window there, and we'll assume that a beautiful butterfly flew through the window. And then there's a little leaf here as well. That two leaves. That
It's
that Rose put
lovely.
here. It's really lovely. Yeah. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. No clue.
And the head has gotten a tan.
The head is tanned. Yes. Yes. It's so cool. I love the colors that you used, Rose. It's really nice.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's good.
Cheryl, how do you feel about the development of this piece so far?
I think it's great. No, get into it, because I actually did a value painting with the hope that you would develop it up.
Yeah.
So I was actually, that was why it was just in values, and I was sort of hoping that you would add the color or the features, or because it was just a beginning.
And Rose added the eyes as well, right? Did you add
Excellent.
the eyes or did Lara?
No, the what Cheryl had there, it was
Oh.
already kind of there, and I just kind of
Oh.
pulled it out.
Oh, okay.
In fact, everything that's on the head, other than the butterfly and its shadow, is what Cheryl and Lara, because Lara had added some yellow. So I kind of took the palette from where Lara had started with the bubbles and the yellow, and then I just followed Cheryl's values that were already there. So I kind of just pulled it out. And then I was thinking when I did it, I thought, oh, this is so cool, because now, the portrait artist can maybe polish it up and turn it into an
No pressure.
actual
Gee.
person. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was going to develop into a person, like, come on, take it somewhere, like take it, give it a personality.
The person got a tan during its travels on the airplane and wherever it went from the UK, from Australia to the UK to Vancouver. That was a big trip, so got a tan.
Nice.
Hey,
Okay,
Laura,
cool. I think
how
I know what I'm gonna do with it now. I have an idea. Anyway.
One season.
Laura, how did you reference the bubbles? Did you get a photograph and? I mean, they're so cool.
No, I just
Made them up.
Yeah.
Wow,
They're beautiful.
they're beautiful.
Yeah, bubbles.
But they are just bubbled. Are not so difficult to do.
No, but
Yeah,
they
I like them.
added depth behind
Yeah.
the head. So
Yeah.
that
Whimsy.
it made more space, and maybe that's what gave me the idea that there was an open window that something was blowing in through, right? Because they're just floating. I added one bubble
Such a
too
cool-
onto the leaves there that it just landed on the leaves, and it made the bubble number come to 11, which I thought was awesome.
Yes. Yeah, 11.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we find, okay, I speak for myself then. I find that at each level we get to these pieces now, and it's like, we could just stop here. This is so
I know.
good.
Yeah.
That's really amazing, and I think part of
Yeah,
it's
I
because
thought
we're
the
putting-
same when this painting arrived at my home. I said it's already done.
I know. Well, that's how I feel.
And it was just
Mhm.
the first layer, so
Yeah.
Yes, clearly not done. according to our project rules.
Yep.
yeah.
Rules,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, stay tuned to see what develops.
Yeah.
More to come. Come back next week too, because we're going to open up a new package. Somebody's got a new package, I think. and we've got more sketchbooks to show because we couldn't show them all today. And we'll talk more about our process and what's crazy in our lives, because we've all got new work showing up. I'm seeing beautiful things behind everybody. And Stephanie told us about her ladybird gal there.
Yeah.
Made my head explode a little. Made my head. So come on and join us pretty soon, folks. And you guys, I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ross.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Ross.